Hi, my name is James Shepard, and in this video today, I'm going to give you an introduction to 3 technologies that you can use to help you make sales in the field: NFC, EMV, and AMEX Opt Blue. So these 3 technologies are all newer to the industry. They're really exciting, and I'm just going to give you a short introduction to each of them today, as well as how you can utilize them out in the field. So let's start with the least useful but the coolest one, which is NFC, or near field communication. So near field communication, you probably have heard of it as Apple Pay, Google Wallet, those types of things. So the idea is you can use your phone, tap it on the terminal or hold it near the terminal, and it's going to process a payment. Now, this is accounting currently for a tiny, tiny percentage. Last time I checked, it was still below 1% of all the credit card transactions were going through the mobile phone. And so this is one of those classic technologies that, just like in the 1990s, they said that e-commerce was going to take over all the business. And here we are like 20 years later, and it accounts for about 13 to 17% of the total transactions done in the United States. And so the whole idea of people paying through their phones, there really turns out not to be a big convenience added. It's not really that much more secure. So it was a hard habit for a consumer to break to get out their phone instead of their credit card. So at any rate, though, it is a really cool technology. So I would advise you to do 3 things. Number 1, use it. Okay, download it on your phone. It is definitely going to be something in 5 years. So download it on your phone if you have do Google Wallet or Apple Pay, and try it out. It's pretty cool. I've used it a few times. It's nice. So check it out and see how you like it and how the experience feels for you. And also, it's nice if you have it so you can actually show a merchant how it works as well. So you try it out. Number 2, talk to your processor, find out what their plans are. Honestly, I wouldn't even say it's make or break that they offer this service. But if they do, it's cool and you should talk about it. And so when you go into a business, depending on where you're located at, if you're near Manhattan, Dallas, LA, Denver, you want to be talking about this a lot. If you're like me and you're in Altoona, Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere, maybe not so much. But depending on where you're at, this could be a really cool technology to talk about to the business owners. So find out what your processor has to offer, and then number 3, talk about it to the prospect. Okay, so just mention it, talk about it. You never know. Some prospects are going to be like, I don't care about that. Others are going to say, that's great, that's really cool, that's exciting, let's try it out. And that could be the thing that pushes them over the edge. So there's your NFC. Next is EMV. Now, EMV, totally different. EMV has taken off like a rocket, and the reason is really simple. It's because Visa and MasterCard regulated that it had to take off like a rocket. So that makes it a little easier. So EMV, we're talking about the chip cards. All of you at this point, I'm sure, have a chip card in your wallet. You've used a chip card to buy something. Okay? Chip cards are everywhere. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. There are still a lot of businesses who do not have EMV chip cards installed, the terminals installed in their business. I have been shocked to see, where was that? Panera Bread. Out in our area, we have Sheetz, which is like a massive company, still without the chip card terminals. And it actually seems like, ironically, the mid-sized companies and even the larger ones are actually lagging behind the smaller ones. The smallest companies out there, the little small businesses, many of them have already upgraded their terminals. But the statistics right now tell us that only about 60 to 70% of small businesses have upgraded. The majority of the big businesses have, but there's still some that are hanging out there. So my advice to you would be very simple with this, okay? Go into a business as you're just out and about. If you notice that they don't have EMV chip card, make a note of that, all right? You need to come back in, get some information. There is tons. I don't even need to give you any right now. Go online and look up EMV chip cards. There's tons and tons of information that you can get about that, and you can take that information, print it out, give it to the prospect, okay? If they don't have EMV, you definitely want to be talking about that. And of course, obviously at this point, you want to be giving out an EMV chip card terminal to your merchants that is like accepting chip cards today. If you're not doing that, you're like 6 months behind the curve and you need to find a different processor or something, because you have to offer EMV at this point. Number 3 was AMEX Opt Blue. Almost forgot what I was going to talk about there. American Express Opt Blue. So this is really unique. I've actually made a few sales talking about this to people because it used to be American Express 1 point was what they had originally. And then before that, they had their third-party thing. So for like decades, businesses have not wanted to accept American Express. Many of them have accepted it grudgingly, but they didn't want to because the fees were so much higher. and because all of the fees and everything came on a separate statement, which is a huge pain when you're trying to reconcile QuickBooks because you've got your credit card processing statement and then you've got your American Express statement. The batch settlements were coming in separately, so if you took American Express, you get 2 batches every day, one for Visa, MasterCard Discover, one for American Express. Really annoying. Again, when you're trying to settle things up and match it up with QuickBooks, it's very frustrating. And again, their fees were like 3.5% versus like 2% on Visa, MasterCard Discover. So it was too expensive. It was just kind of a pain. American Express Blue is basically American Express finally saying, hey, we want to just be like Visa, MasterCard Discover. We want to go through the normal channels here. We want to sell our services through the independent sales rep and office. And so American Express Blue is really, really cool because it takes the cost way down. It simplifies everything onto one statement, one settlement or batch that goes and deposits into their bank account every day. This is a really, really cool technology. So 2 things with this. Talk to your processor. If they don't currently offer American Express Blue, my guess is that they probably have plans of doing so in the next few months. So just kind of talk to them, make sure they have a timeline, make sure they're aware that you want them to offer American Express Blue because it's really important. If they do, or whenever they do offer American Express Blue, definitely talk to businesses about this, business owners, because people who have an American Express card are significantly more likely to only want to use their American Express card. And so even though the business owner might not realize it, they're definitely going to be losing money if they don't accept American Express, especially if they're in a vertical that takes business cards. I'll give you an example, pizza shops. Pizza shops could do a lot more business if they took American Express because by promoting that, local business clients that have an American Express card are probably going to go to that pizza shop because of American Express offers really good rewards. So an American Express card holder, the card holders love American Express. The business owners have always hated it because of the extra fees and the complication with the statements, but the consumers love it. So if they can take American Express, that's going to be huge for them and it's going to help them out in a big way. My name is James Shepard. Thanks for watching this video or listening to the podcast, and hope that you'll take these 3 technologies out in the field to help you make better connections and make more sales.